who have achieved many great deals till now. He is an expert in machine learning with deep knowledge of supervised machine learning models. He is Google certified educator, level 1, level 2, and manages Google Lab community as a co-organizer. Alice is advisory member for the platform. A certified blockchain expert with blockchain appeared at India IEEE Congress and Young Professional Congress 18. He also is India's largest Google. Add to this, India as one of the inventor of Smart India community. Many more. Without taking any over you, is Manusha. Hope you're safe and healthy in this COVID-19 pandemic. So, welcome. I'm very eagerly waiting for that. What is the view take?
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Ali Mustafa, and I hope you are able to see the video. I guess there was some problem with the voice. Not a problem. Maybe I will share that video link in the description, and you can watch it later. So my name is Ali Mustafa, and today we are going to talk about machine learning. So it is going to be a basic session. If you have attended one of my sessions, then this might be a repeat for you. So I guess Bharat is here. So hello Bharat. Would you like to talk about the tech innovate so that we can start? I guess the audio is not that visible, Bharat. Okay, not a problem. We will start with the session. I will share my screen and we are good to go. So I hope everyone is awake and it's a very good evening. So just give me a hi in the comments. Yeah, till then I share my screen. Just give me a hi. Yes. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for so many highs. Okay, so let's get started. Today's topic is machine learning. Okay, and we are going to discuss a lot about machine learning and how we can use it on a daily basis. I'm assuming that you all are able to hear me, right? Okay, that's really awesome. So yeah, let's get started. So my typical way of saying hello is by waving a hand and saying hello. But we are here in the COVID times, and it's quite not possible to see y'all. But you can see me, so just wave a hand in front of your screen. Don't be just too crazy. Just slowly and say hi to yourself. If you're from a CS background, then I would really say sudo hello everyone. Okay. Myself, Ali Mustafa, and I build human networks, not the computer one. They are creepy and I don't like them. And they are also, so complex to understand. But humans are so easy to understand, and yeah. I'm a Google certified educator and a software innovator at Intel. I'm also a Microsoft student partner, and I strive on a daily basis to make sure the students get most of machine learning and AI in their daily life. And I conduct workshops and seminars across India at different venues, and I talk a lot. So you might know that by the end of the session. And these are some of my images of some seminars I have conducted at different places. And this one is one of my favorite photos taken at Bharat University in Gujarat. You can see the energy of the crowd, 500 people, and that was really awesome. We might create a screenshot by the end, but yeah, not a selfie though, but we can click a screenshot on. That's good. Okay, so I have done a lot of work in machine learning domain, and you might understand that by because I started at very young age, just 15 years of age, and I started my journey learning Python and my developer journey altogether. And since then, I have worked as a global influencer for Google Crowdsource for 2 years, in which we participated in 18 plus countries, and we were part of a very huge campaign of collecting crowdsource data. And I'm also organizer of TensorFlow User Group Mumbai, the first ever user group in India, where we have around 2,500 members, and we talk about TensorFlow and machine learning there. Okay. So yeah, I also have a TEDx talk, so you can go ahead and you can watch it. It might inspire you, maybe. Okay. So yeah, let's get started. So before I start, I want to make it clear that this talk is for complete beginners, absolute beginners who have zero knowledge about machine learning. This talk is for people who have not attended any of my talks because this is a repeat of some of my talks. Okay, so it's not a whole together a new content. If you have attended one of my previous talks, okay, and I'm going to cover a lot about machine learning. We are going to talk about basics, intermediate applications, and a lot of stuff. Okay, so bear with me till the end. The persons who stay till the end will receive some digital gifts from my side, as on a personal note. So yeah, for them, for who all stay till the end. Okay, so let's start with a very small question of uh, what are you seeing on your screen currently? Yeah. Come on, let's be quick and answering because I'm watching the comment section. So I am live and I'm watching the comments as well. So I'm able to record, able to see what you're writing. So I will ask questions so that I get to know that my audience is an active audience or they are a passive audience. Okay. So yes, put it in the comments. What do you see on the map? If you ask me, I would say, this is the map of India. And we have numerous states, we have numerous languages. It's such a unique and such an amazing country, right? And the best thing about being a part of India is that you have so much of diversity, and you have so much of people around that you will be able to if you, even if you today start mapping the culture of India, it will take you years to just figure out how many types of culture we have in India. And depending, taking from south to north, from east to west, each part of India has a different culture. Okay. And when I talk about machine learning in general or any technology in general, I usually start with the applicable the application of it. What are you going to do with that technology? Okay. So machine learning has a lot of hype. So is the hype real? Should you learn machine learning now or it is over? Okay. What should you do as a beginner? What should you do when you're just starting up, right? There are a bunch of questions in front of you. So I would try to solve them one by one easily. And the first question arises is what is the application of machine learning? And I assume that most of you are living in India. And like me, you don't plan to go abroad in the near future. Okay. You want to work in India itself. And so if you are as a student who is learning in India and is or want to work in India, and specifically in the machine learning domain, what things you need to understand and what things you need to take into consideration before you take machine learning as a career in India. Okay, so what are the use cases which we can solve, and there are a bunch of different details which comes to your mind whenever you talk about machine learning, okay, or technology in general, because if technology cannot make the work of humans easy, it is useless, right? So if a technology doesn't help human beings on a daily basis, again, it is useless because we don't want a technology which doesn't help human beings. For example, if mobile phone, didn't help you to play games, you might, all the youngsters might throw it because they hardly use it for calling. Okay, most of them uses it for playing games. And at the same time, if you talk about internet and different technology in the world, if it is of no use, then the garbage is the place for it. Okay. So I really liked that some of you pointed out that it is a political map of India. That's really awesome. So next question to you is how many states are there in India? Yeah, it's a very simple question, and the stats has changed as of now. But I really want to know if you are aware. So yeah, can you tell me how many states do we have in India? Okay, I'm asking all these questions is because they are related to what I'm going to explain in the near future. Okay, it's not just randomized questions; it's questions which will give you, some idea about, how to implement machine learning in your day-to-day life. So don't think of these questions as, just a normal GK questions. I'm not testing your GK. I'm testing. I'm trying to give you an idea about what we can do with machine learning being in India. Okay, so people are starting to comment, and who is this with 26? Okay, okay, there's 29, 29. Uh-huh. Okay, keep that coming. I see 60 people out here. Okay, so I want at least 10 comments. Okay, so yeah, that's 29, right? What you can do is you can just open a new tab with Google, and then that really might give you the answer. Okay, so yeah, um, uh, when I talk about 29 states, what comes to your mind? Okay, what comes to my mind is 29 different cultures, 29 different forms of languages. Okay, where each state might speak a different language. Okay, we are not generalizing on Hindi. Okay, but each state might have their own culture, might have their own language, and there's a lot which you need to consider. Okay, and when solving a machine learning problem, why do we do machine learning is because we have a bunch of data and we don't know what to do with that, or we don't know what can we achieve from the data. We try to analyze that. Okay, we try to figure out the correlation between the data, between the input and the output, and try to understand what's happening. So let's get started. Okay, so as an Indian, okay, what language do you speak? So there's no national language for us, as far as you might be knowing, right? We don't have a national language per se, but we do have some languages which we speak on a daily basis. So what languages do you think which we speak on a daily basis? Yes, can anyone tell me? It's very easy. Yeah. So like if you Google, you will find multiple languages. And if you see throughout people speak Hindi a lot more. Okay, most of the northern parts, northeast parts, they speak Hindi as their major language. And then we come to south, and then there becomes Tamil, there comes Telugu, there comes Gujarati. Sorry, uh, Kannada, Malayalam, and once you come into the west parts, okay, you see Gujarati, you see Marathi being prominent, where people speak so much of that. Uh, who speaks English? Okay, that's that's really crazy. We don't speak English on a daily basis, uh, unless if you're talking just 10% of the audience, then yes, English is the language you can speak. But majorly, we speak our regional language whenever we are there in our own state. Okay, and the problem, uh, the problem with this is that the technology. Okay, so the content available on internet is in English. Okay, it's not in Hindi, it's not in Malayalam, it's not in Tamil. Okay, it's not in Marathi, it's in English, and 97% of the content available on internet is in English. Okay, so how can people or non-English speakers can solve this problem? Okay, so there comes machine learning to your rescue. Okay, so when you want to translate from one language to another, machine learning helps you to do that. And you might be familiar with a lot of Google products which actually help you to do this. For example, Google Translate. Okay, and also a lot of others also have a lot of models. Like for example, Microsoft has a state of a SOTA model which can help you to translate from one language to another language, and so on. But our problem differs from the world. Okay, so for example, if I talk about Saudi Arabia, their primary language is Arabic. Okay, and if I talk about United States, their primary language is English. If I talk about Japan, their primary language is Japanese. Okay? But if you talk about India, we don't have a primary language per se. We do speak, a lot of people do speak Hindi, but a lot of people in South don't speak Hindi. A lot of people in West speak their own language, okay, a variation of Hindi. And if you see at an overall umbrella, you will find that there are more than 1.3 billion people speaking more than 50 languages, having more than 1,500 different dialects. And that becomes next to impossible even understand or even classify even when you're using machine learning as an automation tool. And so there comes a lot of problems. Okay, and this is where deep learning, machine learning plays a very very important role. So if you see Google models, if you see a lot of people, so what is the primary source of we can say how do you enter information into the system or into your mobile phone? What is the primary way of inputting information to your desktop? Yeah. So in short, asking you what are the input devices? You have learned that in fifth standard, I assume. So can you tell me what are the input devices that you might be, using on a daily basis? Yes. Yeah. So I teacher calls me that keyboard is an input device, scanner is an input device, camera is an input device, microphone is an input device. But most of us use keyboard on a daily basis, and we are more prominent users of keyboard than mic. But what happens when there is a lot of languages and you're using keyboard? You need to make keyboards in so many different languages, and it is really difficult to cover different languages and so many different dialects. When I say about dialects, what is a dialect? Can anyone tell me? Yes. What is a dialect? A dialect is a way of speaking a language. So if I talk about Hindi, I might say that हम यहाँ खड़े हैं. It means I'm standing here. Okay. But if I go to Lucknow and I speak that, no, so if I go to the north part or Lucknow or Bihar and I speak that hum yahan khade hai, that means I as an individual. Okay, but if I say that in Mumbai, it means a lot of people, not just me. Okay, so the word remains the same, but the dialect changes, and that's why the meaning changes. Okay, there are many, critical words which are used in Bengali, which are considered as bad words in Hindi. Okay, and I don't want to name them, but there are multiple words which are a real word in Bengali, but a bad word in Hindi. Okay, so yeah, uh, that's a major problem. And another problem is about the Indian on internet. So if you see our power on internet, we are 1.3 billion people, and even with only 30 to 40% of penetration of internet, we are everywhere. And one thing which I have realized from Twitter is that people can trend anything on Twitter. Okay, so there was Big Boss happening around, and shop. And I was like, there might be something bad happening with it because it trends after something bad happens, right? So I went to the thread and I was not a Big Boss fan, obviously. So I saw this and I was, crazy. I was like, oh my God, that's really massive, right? Fifth highest worldwide trend for Big Boss contestant. And I doubt, I can totally relate. There are so many of different, fans available. Okay. And if you talk about Vinod, okay, I don't even need to say about it, right? Um, the world is literally begging to Indians that don't type Vinod in the video, in the chat. Okay. And people are, seeing Vinod so much that actually, I don't know if people start typing in my live stream, but Vinod has become an emotion, a nationwide emotion. People don't even know why they are doing that. Okay? They just go into the live chat and Vinod, Vinod, Vinod. That's the power of Indians on internet. Okay. So one thing is we have people in masses, and most of them are in a way unemployed. They want jobs, but they are not getting it. And at the same time, you're telling me that, so you might be wondering that Ali is telling us to learn machine learning, and machine learning will in fact decrease more jobs, right? It will enable more automation, and it will decrease more jobs. So what are you trying to say, Ali? So don't get me wrong, but I will try to explain the whole concept on a later stage. But yeah, remember that the audience which you are catering to, it really depends. It really gives you an insight about what your customers are, okay, and what audience you are catering to. So that's a simple use case. Okay? Now I did not say about TikTok because that was another sensation now banned, but it did play a very major role. And I don't see TikTok, as a content platform. I see TikTok as a tech platform. So if you ask me, about my opinion about TikTok, I would say that it is one of the best platforms available in the world. Why do I say that? Because it tailors, it collects data, makes it so easy for people to operate, to use high tech and tools. And you just these guys are not content creators, they are truck drivers. And if they can create content, okay, how easy it is to create a video, how easy it is to map a song, how easy it is to make your content and make it viral, right? And if you see TikTok competitors, they are nowhere near TikTok's benchmark of number of users. And I'm telling that with charts, graphs, and everything. Okay, and that's massive. That's not because of the thing like it's not because of you can say a massive number of audience. It's because of the tech which enabled people to reach out, to go there and share their content. You'll be surprised to know that 190 million people in India use TikTok. Okay, use TikTok after its ban, obviously. But an average user spend around 52 minutes on TikTok, and that's a lot more amount of time. And why do people do that? So as an engineer, if you try to understand how things work, or you might say that it was passive. You just need to scroll up and up and up, and the video comes, and that's why time goes by and you don't realize it. Okay, and there are so many different aspects, right? So why are we discussing that? Is because you need to understand your audience. Machine learning algorithms are if you talk about machine learning systems, they are made for people. Okay, they are made so that people can leverage their data, bring in their data into the system, and then the system acts, it becomes your friend. Okay, it gives you good suggestions, it takes you from one place to another place, and so on and so forth. Okay, and to understand Indian audience, to understand your customers, I'm talking to you as an engineer. Okay. So here, if you see here, we are talking about Snapchat as well, which also faced a similar kind of a behavior. Okay, a few years back, when their CEO, sorry, the employee quoted that their CEO said to poor country to consider expansion now, and it was a fake news per se, but it destroyed Snapchat. Okay, and we didn't even stop there. We actually spammed Snapdeal as well. So Snapdeal had nothing to do with the controversy, not even nothing, okay? Literally nothing. But still, they were caught in the controversy, and they were also rated 1 star. I need not tell you about YouTube versus TikTok, okay? And this is just a start, okay? So why are we discussing about all these problems? Is because if you cannot solve these problems using technology, then this will keep on increasing, and it's just of no use. And if you're in India and you're learning machine learning, these are the problem statements or use cases which I've just shared with you on a these are very few of them. Okay, if you dug deep, there are so many of different use cases which you will find on a daily basis. Okay, so there comes the question about why AI first or why voice first. Yes. And if you have watched this video, can you put it in the chat? Have you watched this video? Yes, any one of you? I would like to know if you have. watch this video. That would really be very interesting for you to understand. Yes, anyone would like to share their experience with this video? I hope it was a pretty viral video and a lot of people watched it. So I'm expecting that a lot of you might have also watched it, right? Yeah. So this video was viral for some time, and it was so viral that uh, the creator of Facebook, the owner of Instagram, um, he has only around he had around 4 million followers back then, and Priya Warrior actually had 5 million followers within one night. Okay, and if you try to analyze this video, what I would say that is you don't understand what's happening behind the scenes. Okay, so, for example, you don't understand the background sound because I'm a Hindi or I'm a Marathi speaker. Okay, so I didn't understand. I guess it was a Tamil song, or it was a Kannada song, or it was a Tamil song. I don't know specifically, but there was a song playing behind. Okay, and I was not able to understand that, but I did understood all these actions, and I did understand that okay, this was this was conveying some of the signals. Okay, and a lot of message was conveyed just by reactions. Okay, but yeah, if you talk about voice wash, you might be seeing Google, Amazon, Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, Apple Siri, everyone pushing towards voice wash, telling you that you need to interact with your mobile phone with voice. Okay? Massive marketing, massive promotion. Why do you think that is done? And it is more centered towards APAC region. Okay, if you try to understand. So the first reason is the language. Okay. The second reason is the dialects. Okay. Right. So I have met people who can speak Hindi. I have met people who can speak Hindi, but they cannot write it. I have met people who can speak Marathi, but they cannot use mobile phone. Which is in Marathi. Okay. Because they cannot kind of read it properly. They cannot read the proper scripts. Okay, but they can speak it fluently. And it's called as you can say a slang, a bit of a slang language, but it's just the original language. So AI first will enable you, or voice first will enable you to use your voice to interact with systems, and that will in return give a new experience to a lot of users who cannot use keyboards, or who don't know how to type on music actors. Okay, and that will really enable new dimensions. And I've seen people using Google Assistant on Geo devices. Okay, Geo device, the Geo phone, which is like $1,500. Uh, a small phone with a keyboard having a voice automation. That's so powerful, right? Anand? So technology on a daily basis is improving so much, but AIML systems in place that in the near future you might not be even requiring a keyboard to do anything. You will just say things and it will do that for you. Still, it happens, but most of the people are not doing it. But in the near future, it was quite possible that everyone will be using voice as first communication, then the keyboard. Okay, and yeah, so when you have a lot of audience, you need to understand a lot of problems, and then you need to come up with a lot of solutions so that you can strive. And I always say this: India is the country which can only, if you want to employ everyone, if you want to make employment 100%, then you need entrepreneurship. Then you need people doing startups, and you need people, solving problems using high-end technologies, which can help a lot of people, impact directly. And with that, my kind of a psychological session ends, where I talk about why we need machine learning and AI. And my technical session starts where I say how to do machine learning and artificial intelligence. Before I go to technological part where I discuss about a lot of algorithms, a lot of techniques, and a lot of programming language, let me show you a small video which might want you to think twice before you implement a solution which has AIML. Okay. So here I'm drawing a line in between the hype and the reality. Okay. So please watch this video. I'll shut down the volume. Yeah. Okay. So I will have some questions after this video. Okay. So please watch it carefully so that You can answer this video. Answer my questions after this video. Okay, so I will play it once again. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, this guy is trying to do something, and yeah. So yeah, that's all from the video. Now, can you tell me what did you learn from this video? To be more specific. Yes. What did you learn from that video? Oops. Yes. Yeah. Can you tell me what did you learn from that video? It was very simple. Okay. You can tell me. It's easy as well. Yeah. Okay. I'm waiting for you guys to come in. Okay. So, are you typing something? Okay. I'm watching the comments. So when I look down, just consider I'm watching a lot of comments down. Okay. Separating fruits based on size. Every size of a fruit is divided. So what this guy is trying to do is trying to classify fruits with different, kind of sizes. Okay. And it is a very proper solution with two lines, okay, not parallel, but both the lines are a bit stretched so that the last box contains the biggest fruit and the previous boxes contained, they will be a lot, a lot more less than the uh, other fruits. Again, so it's a simple classification algorithm, not an algorithm. It's a simple classification technique where you add a fruit and then it classifies into different segments. Do you think we should do this using machine learning? Yes, we can make an algorithm which can help him separate this food. But do you think should we implement machine learning for him and help him by solving this problem? By using a camera and then it will classify that food based on the size and everything. Do you think that would be a very good approach? Yes. Do you think that will really help people? Yeah, because come on, put in. Okay. So if you ask me, I would say that I would not make an ML system for this guy is because he might not able to afford that system in the first place. Okay, will he have a machinery which can help him sort all this? So unless the system is cost effective, making that system is worthless. At the same time, if you're replacing this guy with $1 million industry, or a group of farmers which are trying to do this, then it would make sense. This guy as an individual can sort this complete pomegranate, of fruits within an hour or two. But if I talk about the affordability, how much money are we going to invest in research, and will we be able to do that, more efficiently and effectively than this technique? Then it has it would raise a lot of questions. How will it work? Okay, what will be the cost? Will it bring business value? Will it be easy to use? And so many different factors. Will this guy be able to afford that? Okay, so there are multiple questions which you need to answer before jumping into making any solution. Okay, not just a solution. Whenever you're making any solution, you need to remember that um, you know uh, if it is at all required. Okay, answer that question. If yes, can it be solved with traditional methods and not using machine learning? If it can be solved using traditional methods, then go for that. Don't use machine learning. But it cannot be solved with a traditional method, so go for machine learning and then solve that problem using machine learning and then come up with a solution. Okay. So yeah, that's all. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's get started. So machine learning, you might be seeing machine learning everywhere, and if you go to Wikipedia or you go to a technical blog, it will tell you that machine learning is nothing but an approach used in the branch of artificial intelligence to improve the performance of a task with an experience over time. Now, to people, which now, if this is very technical, let me tell you in a very easy format. Machine learning is nothing but it's a technique which we call most of the times as automation of automation. Okay, so what is automation? Automation is, let's say, you can say that automation is uh, doing something repetitively automatically. For example, I want to add, 500 ml of liquid into my container. Okay. And I have to do that for 100,000 bottles or 100,000 containers. Now that's gonna take a lot of time. That's equally distributed in 500 ml is also a task. So what I can do is I can employ automation. I can make a machine which can do that for me. Okay. Now, what is machine learning? Machine learning is automation of automation. Okay. So what does that mean? That means, it is filling 500 ml properly in all the bottles, but we want to make sure that the bottle is proper in proper shape. Okay. It's not broken from anywhere, because if it is, filling 500 will waste that 500 ml of my juice or anything, and that will be a problem for me. So now I want this machine to even check for if the bottle is proper or not. Okay. Now for checking that, there is not no constant rule, because it can be broken in different at different points, and you don't really know. So for that, you might be implementing a machine learning algorithm, which is going to analyze if the bottle is broken or not, and over time will improve it. Okay. So that's what we call automation of automation. Okay. So before we get too much technical, I would like to tell you that most of the guys might be, while sitting in a rocket science class, might be thinking that and it is not music theory for people who are learning music theory. Professors might be telling that it's not rocket science, and most of the times you might see this kind of behavior from professors saying that, hey man, it's not this, it's not that. But in the end, everything which humans develop, every technology which humans develop, humans can learn it because it is developed by humans. Okay, so understand that every any technology if you take in that place, it's very easy to learn. Okay, it's not that difficult. So remember that. Okay, it just depends on the instructor. Okay, if the instructor is making it easy, then it becomes easy to learn. If the instructor is making it difficult, then it becomes difficult to learn. Okay, so you can read me after the session, but yeah, let me see. Okay, so how does machine learning really happens? So when I talk about machine learning, we have something called as teaching set, which is our data set, and then we train the algorithm on that teaching set to get an answer. And every photo that it defines correctly or something incorrectly gets added into the teaching set, and then the program effectively gets smarter over time. Now, I would like to explain this with an example. Okay? So let me explain that with an example. What do you see on the screen? Yes, can you please tell me what you see on the screen? It's very simple, yet it will give you chills. What is there on the screen? Okay, it's very simple. It's very simple. You can say answer. Okay, so go ahead and tell me what do you see on the screen? Mm, yeah, what do you see? Come on, guys, be quick. I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, and I'm waiting for your comments. What do we see here? Oh, my voice is proper, right? Or is it not going through? Okay. Okay, that's great. Come on, keep the comments coming. What do you see on the screen? The child is about to cry. Okay, that's very specific. But uh, is he about to cry or is he crying already? Yeah. Yeah. So a child is crying, right? And you can say that because of his two teeth widely visible. Okay. So let me share my screen, but let me share a pen which can help me annotate this, okay? And it will it will help me to give you more examples as such. Okay, so just give me a second. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Okay, so technically speaking, this child is crying. Okay, and he's not just crying; he's crying very loudly. Okay, what could be the reason why he's crying? The first question we need to ask is why? Why are you crying? So what are the possible answers you can get about why he's crying? Yes, come on, be quick. It's very easy. Yeah. Why do you think this guy is crying? Right. Let's see, hide that option. Oops. Just give me a second. Okay, now it's on there. So why do you think this guy's crying? There should be a reason, right? So for me, if you try to figure me out, if you try to tell me what is the reason, I can say that first thing he might be hungry. So my handwriting is not so good, so bear with me. So he might be hungry, or someone, maybe he might be remembering mom, or uh, he might have done potty, or these are some of the possibilities because of why he's crying. Okay, so what you just did was deduction. Okay, you saw that, okay, this guy is crying, and then you try to figure out why, and then you try to came out with some answers. Okay, yeah, hungry, he needs milk. Okay, and for food, simple. Okay, but how do you know that? How do you know that a child cries only when he is hungry, or only when he requires mom, or only when he did something, in his pants? Why do you why would you conclude that? Yeah, yeah, a very good point from, I guess, Akshay. Okay, sorry. Yeah, maybe his toy was taken away. Yes, yes, true, true. So his toy was taken, and I will add that to deduction as well. Okay. So how I was able to come up with all this deduction is because I have a small, brother, and when I talk about him, whenever I take something from him, if he's playing with a toy and I take that toy from him, he starts crying, and he tries to call mom and etc. And then that's it's a mess, okay, a big mess. So that's how I know that this guy is little kids cry. Okay. Now, can you tell me, uh, you know, did you you know to try to understand what you deduced was that you looked in the environment, you understood why kids cry, and then you were able to come up with this reduction. Okay, in life also. So let me give you a simple, very simple example. Okay, um, a child, okay, is going to a mall. Okay, so he's going to a mall with his mom. Okay, and in the mall, he spots an ice cream. Okay, now to him, ice cream is really, ice cream. Let me write it properly. My handwriting is not so good, so ignore that. Okay, so this is an ice cream. Just imagine that. Oops, let me draw the ice cream then. That will be okay. So ice cream. Now this looks good. Better. Okay. So this guy wants ice cream. Okay, and the mom says no. Mom says no, no ice cream for you. What will this child do? As per you, what should he do? Yes, he wants an ice cream, and mom says no. So what should he do? Do you have any any suggestions for this guy to get his ice cream? Yes. Any suggestions from my people watching me? What should the mom tell? What should he tell so that the mom gets convinced and this no turns to yes? What should he do? Yeah. So the first thing that comes to my mind is he will cry. Okay. And the mom again, mom is like, no. Okay. So what is the next step? The next step is he will sit down on the floor and cry. Okay. What will happen then is the mom will get embarrassed, and the mom is like, okay, okay, get up from the floor, and I will buy you this ice cream. Okay. So what did the child learn? Yes. What did the child learn? The child learned that if you're not getting the ice cream the normal way, the first step is cry. Okay. So the first step is cry. Now, if the cry doesn't work, then comes second step, and second step is sit down and cry. Okay. So sit down and cry, make a scene, and it might convince my mom to buy that. Now, I assume that most of you in my audience, from the range of 20 years old, sorry, let me make it 15 years old to 30 years old. Okay. I'm assuming that you are from 15 to 30. Okay. Now, um, will you do the same thing as this child would do for an ice cream? Yeah. Yes. Would you do the same thing as this guy is doing for getting an ice cream? You know, if you want an ice cream and the mom says no, will you sit down on the floor? Will you go for these two options? Yes. I'm looking at the chat. Okay. So technically speaking, if you're 15 and you're sitting down on the floor and you're crying, okay, um, not not about, I don't know about you, but if it is my parents, they will definitely leave me there. And they will be like, we don't know him. Okay, he doesn't belong to us. I don't know who is he. Okay, simply, and then they will move on. Okay, because you know it doesn't make sense for a 30-year-old to sit down on the floor and cry for a PS4 or an ice cream in general. Okay. So how did you learn that crying doesn't work when you grow up? Yeah. When you are an adult, crying doesn't work. How did you know that? Yep. Yes. Can you tell me? Uh, if I want to summarize all this, I can say that if you are one thing which is common is data. Okay. So one thing which is common in both the example is data. Okay. So what is common is that there is bunch of data, okay, available around us in the environment. Okay. And you as an individual, okay, is referring to that data, okay, on a daily basis. You are seeing this data, okay, available across the world. You're seeing this data. Okay. Let me make you a Superman. Okay. And you're seeing this data as a whole. Okay. And then you're making decisions. Okay. You say that I should try or I should not, or I should do this or I should not, I should do that or I should not. And so a typical example is, you're standing on the building and what do you jump on? Okay. A typical joke of Asian parents is तेरा तेरा दोस्त जब मारेगा तो तू भी मारेगा तेरा. Right? So if your friend goes on the cliff and falls down, will you do that? Will you follow? Okay. So a typical answer, what will be the answer? The answer will be no. But you will assume that there are people who do suicide and who still jump, right? And for some, the answer is yes. And the answer for them is yes, because their data, okay, tells them that, hey man, you're not um, valued enough and XYZ factors, and then they take this bad decision. Okay. But most of the times, the answer is no because of the data. And you might have people who are loving you. You might have people who are caring about you, and so on. And that's why you will not take this decision. Okay. Another decision which I want to tell you is about oops, yeah. So let me make this circle again. And then there is fire. Okay. So let me draw that with an orange paint. I have colors. Why not utilize it? So I have, fire here. Now ignore my drawing. It is not so good. So please ignore it. Okay. I'll just write fire. Okay, to make it look like fire. Okay, so this is a fire. Okay, so this is fire. Now, would you go and put your hand inside the fire? Will you do that? Yes. Is it is a practical approach? Would you go on there and would you design or would you put your hand in the fire? Okay, or would you spit fire? You know, would you go there and would you spit fire from your mouth? Okay, as you see in the circus, right? Would you do that? If you ask me, I would say no. Now you will be like, Ali, why can't you do it? I'm like, I will burn down, right? I fear fire. That's why I don't know. I won't be able to do that. I won't be able to survive. But then, if you change the whole scenario and you say that this guy is from circus, okay, and you tell him that, hey guys, can you play with fire? Can you play with fire? Can he do that? Yes. So, will he play with fire? Yeah. Or will he still be scared about playing with fire? So the typical answer will be yes, he will go ahead and he will say that I will play with fire because I have seen my parents do it. I know how to handle it. I have professional experience and XYZ and XYZ, and that's why I might be able to do it. Okay, so everything is the basic the underlying architecture or underlying concept is data. Bunch of data, and once the data is available, then whatever you're trying to do. So let's say let me get all this. And let me delete my fire everything. And yes. So let me delete all this stuff and let me add some more stuff. Okay? So that I can conclude some more points. Okay. So first thing is data. The next thing, my drawing is bad. Just ignore this. Just imagine this as a face. Okay. Come back to the panel again. The panel is open. Happy man. Okay. So how does this data get processed? How does this human processes this data? Does he have a CPU or a GPU? What is the technical answer? Yeah. The technical answer to that is he has something called as brain. Okay, so the brain is not just like but it is something like this, something like this. And this brain is responsible for taking a decision based on the data received from eyes, smell, whatever data is received from taste, whatever data you receive from yours, and whatever data you receive from hands and etc. And then all this data goes to your brain, and then your brain takes a decision. Okay, so at any given point, okay, if you are taking a bad decision, it is because you are presented with the bad data and you don't have a good experience about it. For example, if you are investing money in network marketing. Okay, the network marketing, all that companies. I won't name them; they might sue me. Okay, but all these network marketing companies, what they try to convince is they try to convince you that, hey Ali, you can buy a Lamborghini after 30 days. Okay, you can buy whatever you want. Your dreams are very small. You should dream big and whatnot. And in 30 minutes, he will be able to convince me that if you enter 10,000 rupees into the system, you will get, you will get 10 lakhs rupees per month. And, if you see 10,000 rupees investment per month, 10 lakh rupees per month earning, that's massive, right? But once you closely analyze this stuff, okay, once you get out of their, brainstorming sessions and all, you will realize that it is next to impossible. Okay? And it is not even legal. It's not legal. Network marketing is not legal in India, at least. Okay. So that, you know, uh, at that moment, my brain will be like, oh my God, I can buy a Lambo. Okay. After a month, I will have a Lamborghini. Okay, but um, when once I come back from that webinar, I will be like, oh my God, I cannot, because the math is a bit different. They will be like, see this, you bring one person, it will give you 3,000 rupees. You bring 10 people, it will become 30,000 rupees. You bring 100 people, it will become, so the math is, they try to convince you on math, kind of. Okay. And it's a whole scam. Okay, don't fall for it. But your brain, whenever it takes a decision, okay, whenever it takes a decision, it tries to analyze the data which is presented to you and then takes a decision. So for example, after the webinar, if you want to learn machine learning, or if you want to go ahead in artificial intelligence, you will rely on the data which I provided in the seminar and then decide if you want to get into this field or not. Okay. And in machine learning, we try to replicate how this brain works while processing this data, okay, and giving us an output of yes or no, or giving us a probability of some number or anything. Okay. And the major difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence is that AI tries to replicate the whole human brain to make a system which is intelligent in nature, intelligent as humans. While machine learning systems don't want to be as intelligent as human beings in all aspects, but they want to master one aspect. So, for example, self-driving car. So, if you see self-driving cars, state of the art self-driving cars are much better than human drivers, because humans can sleep while behind the wheel. They cannot see far away. There are multiple things which they cannot do, which the self-driving car in today's world can achieve. Okay. So in terms of AI, the output or the system will be much more like an assistant. For example, Sophia will be an AI system. Okay. So Sophia will be an AI system, and she is an example of artificial intelligence. So there is a very small thread between AI and ML. AI is about replicating human intelligence, human level intelligence, to a robot, to a system, which can, work with human level intelligence. But machine learning, on the other hand, focuses on picking up one skill and mastering that skill. For example, game of Go. Okay, so game of chess. Okay, and picking up that one specific item and mastering that item. Okay, instead of mastering multiple items like human beings do. Okay, so yeah, that's the total understanding for it. Okay, okay, so that's good. Now let's see another example which is more practical in nature. So what do you see on the screen? Yeah. What do you see on the screen? So I might end this session in 10 minutes more. Okay, don't worry. I'm not going to take more time because it has already been an hour. So yeah, not much more time. But if you answer fast, I will finish it fast. Okay, so be quick. So when I talk about all this which is visible on the screen, it is emojis, right? And we use emojis on a daily basis for the n number of things. Okay. So the data set is big. There are around 3,500 and something emojis. Okay. And every person uses emojis to express themselves in different forms, right? So yeah. Now, some emojis, okay, I'm not naming them. Some emojis like fruits might be some examples of people using it, and some emojis like this or like those might some people might be using this as well. So we use emojis on a people like me who eat a lot of food might be using emojis like this on a daily basis. Okay, and you might be using different kinds of emojis. Now, emoji tell a lot about a person, okay, and what they might be doing on a daily basis. So let me try to understand what emojis do you use while in a professional talk. Okay? If you are communicating someone, professionally, which kind of emojis are okay to use? Yeah, can you tell me? from this emoji set. Is this emoji okay to use in a professional communication? Yes. Or this emoji. Once the boss sends you an email and sends you this emoji, will you be happy or will you be sad? Yeah. So mostly you will be like, oh my God, boss wants something else. Okay? He doesn't want to reply. So you need to understand for professional communication what kind of emojis you need to use. Okay. So for that, I have let me share the next screen. So if you tell me I might be using this set of emoji while uh, professionally communicating with someone, okay? At the same time, the data set is big, so I might be using this set of emojis as well. And I might, tell him XYZ factors about, using this emojis. And if you want to make a system out of that, then you will require an algorithm because now the data set is ready. So so as you see, the data set is big, right? So for example, this kinds of emoji, the data set is pretty big. And, all this data set is big. So we cannot select all the elements in the data set. So what are we selecting? We are selecting features. So remember that. Okay. Always the data set is going to be really big, but what you're going to select is features. The features which are going to help you to get yourself a solution. Okay. Now once you have the features, okay, once you have the features, then you can. So obviously you're not going to have just one features. You're going to have multiple features like x1, x2, and x3. And whenever I want to generalize multiple features, I can say xn, where n represents multiple features. And usually in machine learning, we annotate output as y. Okay, so x as an input and y as an output. Okay, so y professional, not professional, x this kind of emojis which can be input. So let's play a small game. Okay, guess the movie. Guess this movie. Which movie is this? Come on, be quick. Be very quick. It's easy to understand. Okay, and what about this one? Which is this movie? So the previous one is Ninja. What about this one? This one is a bit tricky. It's also a Hindi movie. Yep. This one is this one too. What about this one? I know everyone should know this one, okay, at least. What about this one? Yep. Do you think it is also, kind of visible? What about this one? Yep. This should be also very easy to understand. So, Life of a Pi, Titanic, Jurwa 2, and Ninja. Okay. So, how were you able to know this one, brothers, is Jurwa 2? Okay. So, how were you able to analyze the movie names with images? You were able to do so because of um, you know the emojis, you have watched the movie, and then you're just trying to relate with that, and that's why you were able to understand different kinds of movie with just emojis. So this is what we call as prediction or the output. Okay, so we give an image as an input, and then we ask the system, do you recognize this? Do you know this, what I'm talking about? If you know this, can you tell me what it is? Okay. And that's what the second last step of machine learning is. And then the last step is to improve the system until you achieve perfection. So let's put that into perspective. So X being a lot of professional emojis, Y being the answer to if they are professional or they are not. Okay. Uh, then we come with an algorithm. We save that, train that. Okay. And then we sample as an input and then we give as an output. Okay. Now, the one thing to understand is there are multiple types of problem statements. Okay. So the algorithm which you're going to use, okay, the algorithm which you're going to use here. So if the output is yes, no, like this, okay, it is not continuous. Okay, it is not continuous or discrete. Okay, so not continuous I will write CONT, okay, not continuous. So if the output is not continuous, then we say it as supervised machine learning model. Okay. So supervised machine learning. Okay. So supervised machine learning. That means sorry. Um, so whenever you have the output as not continuous, actually I had to set that before. So it is still a supervised machine learning model, but I need to cover one more aspect before I jump to that. So whenever you get the output which is continuous, which is not continuous, then this will become so not continuous meaning it is discrete. And when I say something is discrete, it results to classification. Okay. So classification type of problem. That means you are classifying. Okay. You're saying that if not A, B, if not B, A. Okay. Another example of classification can be, uh, you know, is it a cat or a dog? Okay. Is it you can say a human or a horse? Okay. So what does it mean? It means the output is not continuous. It is discrete, and that's why we can count them on our fingers, and we can tell that as a classification problem. Okay. So for that, we will need algorithms which can solve these problems. For example, decision tree, random forest, okay, or deep neural networks. Okay. Now, if I talk about all these inputs being continuous, what does continuous means? Means one, then two, then three, then four, then five, then 6.7, again, then 7, then 8, and then 8.8, then 8.9. So what's happening here? It is not, it is continuous. It is not discrete. Okay. So this is continuous. So if the output is continuous, then in that case, we say the problem as regression. Okay. So if the output is continuous, we say it is a regression problem. Okay. Regression problem means the output is continuous. Which kind of algorithm are you going to use? Linear regressor, okay, decision tree regressor, random forest regressor, and so it will end with the regressor. Okay. And in terms of normal algorithms, it will be like decision tree classifier, random forest classifier. Okay. So understand two differences. Okay. Now, what if I remove the complete Y? I don't have so let's say I have the data of X and Y both right now, right? So if I have the data of X and Y both, then this and I'm doing machine learning on top of that, it is called as supervised machine learning problem. Okay. So what does that mean? We have input data. That means we have input data and we have output data. Okay. So input data and output data gives us supervised machine learning algorithms. Okay, so we can do supervised machine learning out of them because we have input data and we have output data. What if we have only input data and we don't have output data? So in that case, we don't have output data, we just have input data. So in that case, it will become unsupervised machine learning model. So unsupervised, that means we don't have the output. We are trying to figure out, and we are going to use different kinds of algorithm available on top of that to make sure that we get the answer. So the typical type of an algorithm could be like clustering, where we are trying to figure out, trying to relate the inputs and trying to figure out with a class. Okay, so that is called as unsupervised machine learning models. Okay, okay. Now let me go ahead and show you. So this is the major part. Whenever you're talking about algorithm, whenever you're talking about model, this is what you are referring to. And whenever you are referring to data, this part is data. Okay. So, oops. So whenever you're talking about data, this complete part is data. Whenever you're talking about algorithm, this complete part is algorithm. Okay. So remember that. Okay. On a serious note, if you talk about voice group, um, it's not emojis. So this is called as exception. Okay. Or outliners, where the input is not an emoji, it is a sticker. Okay. So if it is a sticker, then your boss might be sending you this, or you might be sending your boss this when he doesn't send you salary. Okay. Or something like this as well. This is my quarantine loop per se. But yeah. So what are all this? These are exceptions. Okay, which are not emojis. Okay. This is kind of an emoji, but not an emoji, fitted with some other extra parts. So yeah, that is called as an exception. Okay. If you talk about the history, the history is big and it has a lot of names. And the first, models, if you see, is about IBM Watson, and then DeepMind's, different algorithms like AlphaGo, which was able to solve the problem of Go. And the history is kind of very big. So I'm not going to cover all of that. I'll just skip that. If you are very interested, you can go ahead and learn about the history. The key event which I want to discuss is, the few names which are very, very important. Is about McCarthy John, Geoffrey Hinton, Gamligan, Joshua Bengio. They all are tuning award winner, the highest award given to, you can say it is equivalent to a Nobel Prize. Okay. And some people who haven't won awards but have made ML simple for everyone is Jeff Dean, Francis, and then AI Winter. So AI Winter actually enabled a lot of people to get started in artificial intelligence and, uh, bring that kind of, research centric area to AI and ML. And this is Jan Ligon solving handwritten digits data on a computer. Okay. So yeah, that's how it looks like. So this is how, you can say, the complete timeline looks like, starting from the invention of Turing test to the first AI invented to the second AI winter to the deep learning revolution, which happened in 2012. And we are living in 2020 as of now. And I don't know what, holds us in the near future, but there is a lot of research going on in reinforcement learning and, a lot of new techniques which are being developed on a daily basis. So a question comes to your mind: should we not learn this, or are our jobs at stake? Most prominently, if you are working a job which can be automated, make a switch. Because if your job can be automated, machine learning is automation of automation. Okay, so remember that machine learning is not going to take away a lot of jobs. In fact, it is going to generate a lot of jobs because people are now going to concentrate on better work where humans are needed. Okay, and machine is just going to help them at that work. Okay, so that's why it is boom times. But remember that you might lose a job if you are doing something which can be automated. Okay, so remember that. Now, as an output, you can say that machine learning is nothing but a study of algorithms which learn from examples and experience. And I have a lot of information. Like earlier we discussed about, you can say, data which was in image format, and now I'm discussing about data which is in Excel format. Okay, same thing where we are trying to achieve this. Okay, oops, I'm going back. Okay. So same thing where we are trying to, kind of understand if we can classify apple and orange properly. Okay. And if you see the output, it just requires you around 6 lines of code to write your machine learning model. And that is just possible because of the machine learning libraries which are available, like sklearn. So sklearn, scientific computing library, TensorFlow, machine learning framework, PyTorch, and so on. And it gives you ability to, use this in a very easy format. Okay. So that's what it requires you to make a machine learning model per se and run it on top of a data. So yeah, it's very easy. It's not that difficult. Okay, it's very, very easy. The coding is very easy. Okay, so also TensorFlow is a really good, you can say, framework which helps you to make your machine learning models for masses, and like kind of give that experience to a lot of users on different devices. So if you're interested in machine learning, you can go ahead and start learning TensorFlow. That would really be a good kickstart and would enable you to do a lot of progress. Okay. Uh, I will not discuss about what is a tensor, but yeah, I'll show you some demonstration which is there. One more thing you need to remember is even a data scientist is fearing his job because of auto ML, and yeah, so you need to constantly upgrade, else it is not going to be much of a use case. So I'll show you some of very good outputs or examples which you could be able to see. And I did had one very good example of bees brain. Okay, so I had this multiple examples. I'll show you some examples which might help you to understand, how can you go ahead and how can you try to, kind of work with your data. So let me also, I have a lot of kind of resources. So I usually send them on my Telegram group. So this is one example where I want to, I want to play this game using myself. Okay. So using my webcams, I won't play this game, but I do have a very good example. But as let me just forgot, yeah, quick draw. So quick draw is a very good example. I'll share that with you guys so that you guys can also experience that. So quick draw is really awesome. Where it tells you to draw something and it gives you an example of how you're going to run. So let's say zigzag. So it gives me suggestions as soon as I draw something. I don't. So yeah. Um, Let me draw a jail. Oh, this is a jail, man. Okay. Spoon should be very easy and simple. Skateboard. Butterfly. Okay, so you can go here and you can try this out. Okay, I'll send that URL in the chat so that you can have a look. Okay, so let me send that right away. Okay. Yeah. So even if you're a data scientist, your job is not secure. Okay, most of the times, even the job of data scientist is going to be, replaced in some time. So remember that. Okay. And yeah, that's it from literally my side. I do have one more example which I want to show you, where you can create your own, you can say, you can create your. So this is, I guess, one YouTube video which I have created on my channel. So you can go to, I guess this is the one which everyone is watching. But I want, so in my channel there is, this is the video, okay, which can enable you to detect masses, to detect mask using machine learning with zero ML coding knowledge. So this is where you can learn to create a mask detector in this COVID times, and with zero coding challenge. So you don't need any coding experience. And if you see the model which is developed, which is here, so this is my train model, and it will load. Okay, it will take few seconds to load. So yeah, here you can see it is okay, it's hanging a bit. So yeah, you can see it is showing me not wearing a mask. But if I try to wear a mask or something, and you can see it is showing me wearing a mask. Okay, so yeah, uh, I have created this model without any coding. Okay, so you can create that too. Okay, so go to this video. Probably it is there on my YouTube channel. You can subscribe and you can go here and you can create that. I will add that URL as well. Okay, so that you can go ahead and you can do that. Okay. So yeah, there are multiple tools available which will enable you to do machine learning on a later stage, or if you want to learn that on full-fledged basis. So if you talk about the market, some of the hottest role in the market includes a machine learning engineer. So remember that. Okay. So if you're doing machine learning, you are, it is one of the hottest role available. Data scientist again, big data developer again, Python developer again. So these are the tech which are trending in today's world. And if you are even if you are an Android developer, that is fine. Even if you are a sales engineer, that is fine. You don't really need to be a machine learning engineer after all. Okay, but if the field interests you, why not? Okay, so remember that there is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of job market. Yeah. And in general, CS has a lot to offer. Okay, so it's not just about it's just not just about um, um, that in today's world, many people have lost their jobs. But if you see uh, CS, it has actually shown profit. People can work from home if they are in a CS background. Okay, so remember that computing jobs are going to increase by 2022. It's going to boost up, and today we have very less computer graduates. So computing you can go ahead, you can learn programming, and you can get a job very easily. So yeah, that's it from my side. If there are any questions, I would be more than happy to answer that question. Else we can end it again. So let me switch back my screen so that I can actually uh, share my screen again with a window, okay, so that I can take your questions properly. Okay. So yeah, that's from my side. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. And these are my handles where you can reach out to me, and I will help you in person for anything. If you want to start your career, or you want to go ahead and maybe you want some suggestions. So in that case, I will be more than happy to help you out. In that case, okay. So please go ahead and ask your questions in the comments. I am more than happy to you know um, understand what you want to ask and maybe answer that. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. I'm open to questions. I'll onboard Bharat, who will assist me in helping with the questions. We are live, so if you see any question in the chat, do ask him. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? If anyone have any question regarding my ML. So this was just a very basic seminar. If you want to get more details in depth, so you can always visit one of my other seminars which I have already took on YouTube, and it has more details. It has everything in depth. So you can go there and you can try to understand that in a much effective way. Okay. So yeah, that would really be helpful. I also have a lot of code labs, so you can go there and you can maybe start with that code lab, and that would also really help you. Okay, so all the resources are there. I will share that. It's already available on my Telegram channel where I share a lot of content. So you can go to that Telegram channel. It also has a lot of video content for people who might want to, uh, see, let's say they want to have chat content or video content. So in that case, they can go ahead and they can go to my Telegram channel, which is having all this resources out there. Okay. So there are no questions. I would be happy. Okay. Bharat has a question. Oh, yes, I am conducting a course for machine learning, which will be there. I will conduct that uh, probably next to next week, where I am teaching end-to-end machine learning. So I will come up with a poster soon. Reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I will share all the details with you. Okay. Is deep learning related to ML? Yes, deep learning is a form of machine learning. Deep learning is a technique, you can say, where we give the machine a lot of data. So in deep learning, you require a lot of data. Okay, and that's why it is it is the one which is kind of working for a lot of problems. And deep learning, it is very interesting to learn deep learning because it can solve a lot of problems. Okay, and I do have a session on deep learning in the next week. So if you are interested, you can attend that session as well. Okay. So if you want to draw, if I could explain you with a diagram where AI, ML, and deep learning differentiates. So AI is the bigger circle. Okay, and inside that, then there is ML, and then there is deep learning. Okay. So yeah, that's how it is all interrelated. Uh, just for everyone, please fill the feedback form. That will help us to get the feedback from the session and also give us, opportunity to improve. So the feedback form is there in the chat as well. Please fill that up as soon as possible. There's another question called as how to overcome errors. Okay, so how to overcome errors? That is a very good question. Uh, Now, overcoming errors, the way I overcome errors is by trial and error. Okay, what does that mean? That means I try, I fail at something, and then I try again. And if I don't improve, I go to internet, I search about stuff, and then I try to kind of come up with a solution. Even if I'm not able to come up with a solution, the best thing which you can do is have a mentor. Okay, a mentor is really great. He can help you to do a lot of stuff, and he's the one who's always there for you. So if you encounter anything, the mentors are they would really help you out. So make a mentor. You don't really need to you can say involve the other guy to be a mentor. You can just keep following them, see what resources they share, and you can keep following their path, and that will enable you to learn a lot more. So for me, my mentor is Jeff Dean, sir, who is a senior fellow at Google, and he is an awesome guy. He like from his code to his code, everything inspires me, and I follow him. And he doesn't respond to me, most of the times, but it is a feeling that whenever he likes my tweets or he tweets them sometimes or replies to my tweets, it really feels a lot. Okay, and he's a passive mentor. He doesn't know me. Maybe probably he might not know me, never, but I still consider him as a mentor, and I kind of see, all the resources which he's sharing, and all the research which he's doing. Okay, so yeah, that's how you can do. Same with Yannigan sir. Uh, yeah, Yannigan sir is on Twitter as well, so you can follow him as well. Okay? Yes. There is no Instagram account with that ID. Oh, okay, that's crazy. Just give me a second. Let me um, give you that ID then. Uh, it should be there. Okay. Oh, it is there. Oh, sorry. I guess it's t.me. Let me share it again. Okay. You might be able to see that. So I have added this again. See it if it's visible. Ali Mustafa is not visible. It's I Ali Mustafa. Okay. Sorry for that misspelling. You just need to add an I there. Okay. So data science is a mixture of ML, AI, and deep learning, right? So most of them they call themselves as a data scientist. So there is a difference between machine learning engineer and a data scientist. Okay, so whenever you talk about a data scientist, that person might be referring to a lot of different aspects. Okay? Now, data science is something where the name itself suggests that data science. Okay, so it refers to a large quantity of data, and you apply tools like Hadoop. You work with Spark. You work with tools which handle massive amount of data. Okay, and you try to kind of figure out a lot of insights from that data. Okay, but you're not predicting on top of that. You're not doing something which is more centric to you can say for example, you're not developing models which are going to, develop predictions in the near future. What you're doing is you're just analyzing it, and you're trying to, build up or try to figure out the science behind the data. Okay, the logic behind the data. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. And as a machine learning engineer, your job is actually to make algorithms which can do that work. Okay, which can help data scientists to figure out what their data says. Okay, and make their data speak, and in all different aspects. So yeah, if there's another you can say sorry another uh, uh, another seminar per se, or I did have an Instagram post explaining the difference between data scientists, machine learning engineers, AI engineers. MLAI is both same, okay, and data analytics. What does data analytics part is about? So I do have an Instagram post. I will share it. You can see it on Instagram, or maybe you can ping me. I'll explain that in detail. Uh, again. Hello, sir. Are you conducting any sessions regarding career guidance for computer science graduates? Um, I don't have any seminar as of now lined up, but if you want, you can host it, and I will be more than happy to participate. Okay, or I can be a speaker. I can share a lot of details. Yeah, I can do that, but I don't have it as of now. Anything planned for now. Okay, so yeah, if you want to organize, you can tell me. I can come and speak. But yeah, I don't have something planned as of now. So one last question I will take. Any other question if anyone wants to ask? One last question. Yes, if anyone would like to ask, and then we will end the session. Okay, one more thing which I wanted to tell people is that remember that oops, okay, okay. One more thing which I always tell people is that machines are hooked up and humans are hooked up and machines are learning. Okay, and I really mean that humans are not concentrating on learning part. Okay, so one question which I wanted to take is which Python library is used for machine learning, sir? So Python library, if I talk about sklearn, is the most prominent one. Keras for deep learning, okay, for making deep learning models, Keras. And then if you're working with end-to-end, framework, then TensorFlow and PyTorch are the ones which uses Python on a greater node. Okay, so yeah, these are the libraries which are used, and you can use them. I do have a code lab in the Telegram group. Go there, and you will find it there. Okay, so I will take one more question to clear just the air there. There's a question called as DL or ML, which is better for image processing and image classification. So DL and ML are not different in terms, okay? So when I say machine learning and when I say deep learning, okay, so just understand the difference is that deep learning is a technique of doing machine learning. Okay. So deep learning requires a lot of data. Okay. It works on different principles. Okay. It has different different extractor features, and machine learning algorithms per se have different kind of different feature extractions which work and which gives you the output. Okay. So even if you're doing image classification or image processing, okay, mostly for image processing we prefer deep learning because deep learning analyzes pixel by pixel elements, okay, and you can actually add loss, you can do wonders. So that is really awesome. And I have one code lab where I am classifying MNIST dataset that is 1 to 9 in different using machine learning and defining simple neural network. It is available in the Telegram. Go check it out. That will give you an idea. Okay. I also have some code labs regarding some machine learning algorithms in sklearn, like decision tree, random forest, which will give you an overall idea. The one major difference between DL and ML is that DL is not so interpretable. It is more like a black box, whereas machine learning is much more interpretable. Okay, so it can give you why it is, deciding a specific solution. Okay, but DL on the other hand is not so much interpretable. Okay, you can interpret it DL as well, but it is, not so much. You can say it's not like a plain glass. Okay, you cannot actually you can try to figure out at some point, but after that it is just a black box. You don't know why it is selecting specific features. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for joining us. If the organizer would like to add few points, uh, Bharat, do you want to add some points, or we will end the stream? Yes. Okay, I guess he might have some internet issues. um, okay, not a problem. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. I hope it was a good session for you. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Not a good day, but a good night. Bye bye.